All right. Hey, let's start the show.
For Thursday, April 9th, 2020. Welcome to This Is Only a Test, the official podcast of Tested.com. (2020), or should I say 2320? How's it going, my 24th century friends?
That's going well. Living long, prospering.
I like how we have different, if you're listening to the podcast, we're all in Star Trek uniforms, all from different eras. Norm is TOS. Jeremy's TNG, and I'm wearing DS9 gear.
Yeah, and this was semi-unplanned. I mean, we're doing something special.
No. Wait a minute. This isn't like what we wear on normal Wednesdays. Let's get that clear.
I mean, this far into our new reality, sure. We're going to do something a little different this week. So getting things right out of the way, we're going to have, for the first half of this show, a pretty normal podcast. We're going to go through some news items, talk about things that are going on in the world, and as we've been trying these past couple of weeks to not dwell on all the maybe depressing things or less fun things, and talk about some of the fun stuff that's still happening, and then we're going to really have some fun. So, Kishore, was it you came up with this idea?
It was on the podcast, I don't know, it must have been a year and a half or 2 years ago. We were talking about this Star Trek interactive VHS game. And after hearing you talk about it, Norm, I went on eBay and purchased it like the next night. And it's just been sitting in my garage for a couple years. And so we're going to play it.
That's what we're doing for this show. For the second half of the show, if you're listening to the audio, highly recommend you go to the YouTube video, because there will be a lot of visuals, but we'll also do our best to paint a word picture and describe what's going on. And if you have not heard of this, there was a whole era in the early 90s of interactive tabletop games that used a VHS as the multimedia aspect. We actually did a tested story about it back in 2012. My housemate in West Fenland bought this very game. It's called a Klingon Challenge. And then there's also a game called Nightmare. And basically there was a whole crop of these board games that you play in person, but you throw in a VHS and you watch a video as you play. And we'll explain how that video works. And that video is also on YouTube, which is how we're going to be streaming this ourselves. But well done, you guys. I didn't realize when you said, dress for the occasion, that both of you would have not only attire but pretty good costumes. Kishore, you've worn that one. Kishore's wearing the First Contact era uniform, so that's with the gray and the red dicky. Or different color depending on.
I prefer that it's the DS9 era uniform.
It's the DS9 post-season 4, I believe. Much like when TNG changed uniforms at season 3, after First Contact came out, then DS9 moved on. Jeremy, you got a classic TNG era uniform, wearing red?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, this is my captain's uniform. I have had this left over from a Halloween a few years ago, and surprisingly, I haven't had the occasion to wear it since. So I'm super happy to have brought it out.
I like that you're already doing the Picard maneuver.
Yeah.
So yeah, the top, and you're wearing one that is not a jumpsuit, because there were multiple uniform variants for this one with the Mandarin collar. So you have the 4 pips, Captain.
Oh, yeah.
You have your comm badge, of course. I like that you have a nice high quality one with a red piping, the red trim on the interior collar. Not all
Only
of them
the best.
have that.
Only the best.
And in the TNG era uniforms, they were the zip-up version.
Mhm.
and then there was the two-piece. You're wearing the two-piece,
I
so
am.
you can do the proper Picard maneuver tuck.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, I'm wearing a TOS era science uniform,
Mhm.
as worn by Spock in TOS, and I had this for a Dragon Con a couple years ago, and it's quite comfortable. I like it too. The only one that's not represented here is the Voyager era one, the one that was the original DS9. I think they called that the jumpsuit, I want to say. I had the kind of purpley mauve colored dicky, and they wore it's the one they inexplicably changed to in Generations, in Star Trek Generations, the TNG movie, because they wore what you wore, Jeremy, and then halfway through the film they just suddenly shifted without explaining to the DS9 Voyager era
That's weird.
uniform. And then in Voyager, of course, they never changed to what you're wearing, Kishore, with the gray and the pleated pads. And the fan apologetics, explanation for that is that because Voyager was lost in the Delta Quadrant, their replicators for the uniforms weren't updated with the new regulation uniforms, and so they stuck to the old ones for the entire 7-year duration they were there. They never got the Starfleet memo to refresh the uniform design. But fans will also point out that their phasers were upgraded. So how'd that work throughout the years? Maybe that was a time unlock. They reached the speedometer, the odometer on the Voyager ticked over, and then the replicators unlocked their new phasers.
I'm going to give the show that's embedded technology that bends space and time the benefit of the doubt on inconsistency in clothing.
Norm, you play the role of the casual, like the down to earth but like knowledgeable fan. But I think deep down you really are Justin Long from that
From
movie,
Galaxy Quest.
from Galaxy Quest, where you really really would love for it to be true.
I would love for it to be true. It's real, guys. I knew it. It's real.
Yeah.
I know it's just a show, Captain. We don't have a special guest this week. We're not going to get, we didn't invite, Tuvok or whoever was available to jump in on our LARPing party and play with us. That'd be very Galaxy Quest, right? Because that's what they did, right? They paid Tim Allen's character to role play with them on their makeshift bridge, and he missed that meeting. But yeah.
All right, let's burn through the news so
we
can
do
get
need to
playing.
burn through the news. I know. I'm stalling because I'm dreading playing this game and the technical difficulties that may have. But let's get to our
top story this week.
All right, so we do have a little bit of a technology news. We've been talking about this kind of brewing for the longest time, but this week saw the launch of Quibi, Quibi, the new streaming service that Jeffrey Katzenberg and fellow investors have invested $1.8 billion in launching, and they could not have found, it just happened that this probably was not the best time to launch a new premium streaming service. If you haven't heard about it, this is a mobile
Or it could be the
service.
best time to have launched a premium meeting service, just maybe not this one that's designed for people on the go.
Yeah, it's designed, it's mobile only, so no way to cast it from your phone to TVs, no apps on TVs. You can't watch it on your laptop. It is pay to watch only, although they are launching it with 90 days free for everyone right now. And there are 2 tiers of payment. You pay either $5 to see the shows with ads, or you pay, I believe it's $8 to have no ads. And not only is it mobile only, they are short episodic shows. So there are over a dozen shows they've launched with more in the works from people like Spielberg, who's doing a show that you can only watch after the sun has set, tied to your phones or the app's internal clock, but they're all under 10 minutes. And the other feature is this turnstile feature, which lets you watch them with in landscape or portrait mode. And I will admit, I could not be bothered.
I'm not interested either. And they got some pretty big names to make content. So like Chrissy Teigen has a Judge Judy type show.
Punked.
There's
Punked is back.
There's a Punked back. Not with Ashton Kutcher. Who's the host of it? It's Chance the Rapper. And they even have like a cooking show with Titus Burgess that was on. He was on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It all seems a little over the top in terms of the content based on the reviews. And I have to admit, like, I think the death nail is the technology piece. Like, Turnstile looks kind of interesting, kind of cool, but it's all locked to mobile. Like, you can't watch it on any other screen or device. And so the idea of it, even if the content is good, especially right now, I don't want to watch something purely on mobile when I'm at home and I have better options to watch it on my TV or even on my computer screen.
I don't know. You're old though. I think a lot of the kids don't mind that at all. And for me, the death knell is the fact that it's paid. I don't think people want to pay for content when there's so much free content or content they're already paying for.
I think you nailed it. I think they launched a service based on usage data that is 100% true and aligned to how they designed this product. Right? It's mobile only, and everyone, certainly all the kids, are watching stuff. Vast majority of people on YouTube watching on their smartphones. It's not to say that there aren't people who are streaming to their TVs or using their TV apps or watching on laptop, and plenty of people there. But if they want the market toward, and they want this to be what the young people are doing, which let's all agree, not us. We are not the target demographic and market for this. Mobile is the way to go. They know short form is, again, all the data says, the short form is what young people will want to watch. And it sounds like they want to create a TikTok alternative, except TikTok is free.
Yep.
And anyone can watch TikTok. And TikTok works because you don't have to think to enjoy the content. You just let it play.
Hey, what's with the shot against TikTok?
No, you can enjoy the content, and there's plenty of really creative stuff that's being created for TikTok and for short form on mobile, but the viewing experience isn't a traditional programmed viewing experience. You're not choosing shows. You are, following people, but then you're also, like on Reddit, you're just watching a feed, like on Facebook, letting the feed of videos play, and surface for you. And that's perhaps what they didn't get right here.
I expect they'll pivot into a free model that's just ad-supported.
Yeah.
It's still ad-supported under the pay model.
I know.
That's the thing that's weird.
When there's so much money invested in here, almost $2 billion in terms of creating content, maybe a year from now, we're going to be asking, what was the bigger streaming flop? Was it Quibi or Apple TV Plus? Because neither of those are ones that seem to be gaining traction. I mean, it's also just been like less than a week since Quibi launched, and the stats say it's been downloaded 300,000 times, which is nothing to scoff at. But I think that's a tiny fraction, less than a tenth of what Disney Plus launched at, and that's because they have all the IP also.
Yep.
And that's not free. There's no free Disney Plus tier. But speaking of Disney Plus, and we'll move on quickly, and speaking of aspect ratios, the good news from Disney Plus is they announced that they have heard the fans' complaints about the Simpsons and Simpsons being streamed only in 16:9 right now. And so they are actively working to reformat the first 19 seasons and part of season 20 of the Simpsons to make it available in 4:3. And they expect to have this by the end of May. So not an easy feat. It's not like they're just porting over and ingesting a bunch of files. They might have to actually dig something up, do some processing, do some remastering, and maybe some UI work. So you have an option to switch between the 16:9 version if you want to fill your screen, or a 4:3 version.
And this would be something new. The fans haven't seen this since they first aired in HD, I guess.
The quality
I think some of
is the big
re-airs,
question, right?
I think some of the re-airs in syndication have been in this format, so it's not like these are lost episodes in scenes in totality.
Yeah. But I think this is what a lot. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who are happy to watch it in 16:9 who want to fill up, all the square inches of their big TVs that they've invested in. Uh, so I'm curious what the default option will be when they launch this at the end of
I
May.
gotta admit, I haven't gotten desperate enough in my quarantine streaming diet to go back to The Simpsons yet. I think that's like DEFCON level 4. When you start, I'll start a run through of the entire Simpsons catalog and see how that goes.
I find I'm always happy to watch an episode when it's on, but I can't get over the hump of choosing an episode and saying I want to watch for the next 2 hours 5 Simpsons episodes. And so I wish that they would have some type of playlist, maybe their curated playlist, something that the FXX network, when they were broadcasting Simpsons, did really well, was they would say, this weekend we're doing just Krusty episodes, or this week we're doing just the Treehouse of Horror. And so some type of playlist system to let me just watch like best of this character, or even a random, give me some parameters and say, I want an episode between seasons, 4 and 9.
Yeah, I love the idea of a surprise me button.
Yeah, and make it a big donut. Just press the donut, and you get the Simpsons episode. Speaking of Simpsons, Frozen 2's on Disney Plus, and Onward's on Disney Plus. I want to talk about Onward for just a second, because I think all three of us were able to watch that. But I didn't realize that Frozen 2 doesn't include the short that came in front of it in the theater, which was a Simpsons short. Now, Jeremy, you saw this, right? Did you see this in theaters?
Absolutely not. I did see it in theaters twice, and we didn't see a Simpsons short.
So it was did you like recognize there wasn't any like Disney animated short before?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So it wasn't a Disney Animation Studio short. It was when Frozen 2 came out, it was right after the Fox acquisition. So there was this whole bumper of like welcoming Simpsons and Fox to the Disney family, and it was a Maggie centric Disney short. That there's a whole Wikipedia page for it. There are articles about it, but you can't find it right now, and presumably it'll be on Disney Plus eventually. But it's something I miss from that theatrical experience. But on to Onward. It is on Disney Plus. I was able to get through the whole thing. Found an evening, hunkered down, watched it. It was okay.
Yeah.
What? Well, I mean, it's not the greatest Pixar movie ever, but I gotta say, watching that with my son, tears.
I think they did, as all Pixar films do, they nailed the theme that they were going for, and the ending definitely had, got teary at the end, but the conceit of the film, and there are kind of two conceits. One is this modern world with magic, with these elves, and like it's this alternate universe of what if the fantasy worlds that we enjoy from like Dungeons and Dragons was brought into the modern world. I don't think that paid off, and I don't think that was almost even really needed. Like this could have been pure fantasy and would have still worked for me. And then the other conceit of the dad being this half body throughout the kind of physical comedy, that was a little bit off-putting. It was almost Weekend at Bernie's for me.
Yeah, it had a few of those vibes, but I think they stuck the landing, which was an important part. Is like they I'm not going to spoil anything, but they didn't make it into like an after school movie aspect, which this could have easily veered into.
It kind of is. There's a message. There's a pretty clear message and clear relationship that they're trying to explore with this film, and it reveals itself, pretty heavy-handedly in the climactic moments.
Hey, I told my son that the message of this movie is that dads are cool.
Yeah.
I think we can stand behind that as the chief message of this movie. It's not the best Pixar movie of all time, but I think it's a worthy addition. It's not in like the kind of lower rung, like Cars 2 kind of nonsensical takes of the characters, and it still has some universality to it.
I liked Cars 2.
The Spies?
Yeah, I loved
Spy
it.
Cars.
Total 007. It was a twist. I mean, it was definitely not the G-rated Cars 1 experience, but I liked Cars 2. I thought it was a lot of fun. What
Yeah.
I
I might need to leave the podcast for a little while because I can't understand what just was said to me there.
Dinosaur I thought was the low point for Pixar so far. And when I saw the trailer for Onward, I was a little concerned that they were going to kind of a, more like, I don't know, lowbrow kind of DreamWorksy kind of vibe with the facial expressions, and it blew me away, and it blew away my expectations anyway. But I agree with you, it's not the best movie ever.
I felt that they half-heartedly went into, some of the jokes of what it would be like for the fantasy tropes to exist in the modern setting, right? They played really with that with the
Halt
Manticore,
sign.
right? And I almost wanted more D&D tropes, like when they got to, and this isn't a big spoiler, but near the end of their quests and their whole puzzles to solve, I wanted more Goonies out of it, I guess. More D&D, and really leaning into that. Instead, they went with ha-has of like, here are some tropes, but now in the modern setting, they don't really work. Like the unicorn raccoons. Like, okay, I get it. That's funny, but that wasn't as clever, I think, by the end.
Yeah.
So Onward, I mean, it's, if you have Disney Plus, free to watch, and I know it probably didn't make a ton of money for them. It certainly is not their fault because of what's happening in the world right now. But Disney has said, and we'll get to some Disney scheduling stuff into actually this next segment, which I'm jumping to right now. Disney has announced and confirmed that they are shifting their entire release schedule, and this does, in fact, impact the MCU Phase 4 plans. Movies like Black Widow, which were supposed to come out this month, have now been pushed to November. And so basically all the movies are getting shifted down. And presumably the Disney Plus plans for the MCU TV shows like WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier are still on track because those are just digital releases. There's, of course, as we expected, no plans to put out the big MCU films on Disney Plus first. Those they want to have, and they need to have theatrical releases to make up and recoup those costs. But movies like Mulan, they're releasing this summer. So they're hoping that because China is easing up and has maybe gone over the hump in their quarantine, they can still have a sizable release in July.
I'm not so sure about the TV shows being released on time. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was actively shooting episodes in the Czech Republic when production was shut down due to coronavirus. So who knows how long production is put behind because of that. And I hope they can sort of catch up to the release date, but I don't think that's a guarantee right now. I did see, if you look down, they basically shifted every movie back one slot, but it still looks like Black Panther 2, which is way out in 2022, is in its same slot. So it'll just take them, a year and a half or so to sort of catch up back to their normal schedule.
One of the big questions, of course, in everyone's mind is when things kind of come back to normal, when the restrictions are lifted, will there be an appetite for people to flock to theaters? Will it be this kind of celebratory moment of like, okay, the restrictions are lifted nationwide or globally, we feel like we've gotten over this hump. Are we going to all flock to see Wonder Woman 84 or Black Widow? Will there be like this big milestone of like, let's go celebrate life coming back to normal, or will it be a trickling into the theaters? No idea. But
I don't think anyone knows, but I think I'll talk about this in science. I think the idea of normal is like up in the air right now. But the other thing I would say is, I'm not sure those two movies you mentioned make me want to flock back to the theater anyways. Like, I think they could be good, but they're not like an Avengers level like movie event. And that's where I think there's something sort of missing. We need something like big that's going to generate a lot of excitement I think, to get people over a certain kind of social hump, and I don't think Wonder Woman 84 is that.
Oh, I disagree. I think Wonder Woman 84 is something that could actually absolutely be that. That's super highly anticipated, especially in my household, and it's a feel good movie. It's not a cynical DC movie. I feel like that, or the next big MCU movie. It's been so long; people have been waiting a long time for Black Widow. So I think both of those could be things that people rally around. Definitely not to the extent of an Avengers Endgame, but that's a once in a decade experience.
People have now gotten a taste of renting or buying first-run films at home, and I hope maybe that this will accelerate the adoption of that by the industry in some way, somehow. I don't know exactly what it would cost.
We get it, Jeremy. You don't want to ever see a movie with another human being in a theater again.
In a theater, right. I don't want to see it with human beings I have never met before.
You don't like going to the odd like midday screening where there are very few people and then you can have the whole theater to yourself almost?
There's always somebody, Norm. It's like,
that's okay.
It's weird.
Really?
No, I don't mean like there's always somebody else. I mean, there's always somebody on their phone or they're eating.
Even midday when it's like half a
Yes.
dozen people.
It's weird.
I
don't know.
That bothers you.
I feel like I'm in some sort of like Truman Show situation where I'm just being trolled whenever I go to a theater because I always forget. And then I get there and it's like I have to move my seat because somebody's distracting me.
Wow.
I have a problem.
If you choose the front row, then you can't see those people and it's just you and the screen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? And the screen looks bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's it for you. But pre-production is still moving forward on the next slated MCU films. And surprisingly, at least this came as a surprise to me, they are moving forward with Ant-Man 3. So Peyton Reed's coming back to direct it. Presumably it's going to be, Evangeline Lilly, Paul Rudd exploring the next phase of Ant-Man. And they hired a new writer, a writer that worked on Rick and Morty, Jeff Loveness. He's co-producer on Rick and Morty and a writer. And I think, I don't know his past work, but I think they've chosen exactly the right tack. Like the third in the line of Marvel films, whether it's Thor Ragnarok, whether it's Civil War, are those the only ones that have had the third? Obviously Endgame, Avengers 3, or I guess that was Infinity War was the third one. But those have always been opportunities to kind of go different. And Ant-Man leaning into the weird science fiction, I think is absolutely the way to go if they have more of a Rick and Morty type tone. You guys have seen Rick and Morty.
Yes. I actually haven't seen Rick and Morty. I've played the games. Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy, you got to watch it.
I know. People tell me this. It's like on my list. I got to watch Rick and Morty. I would love it.
It's crass, but the ideas presented are so wonderfully science fiction, are so high concept that if you just like the conceits of it, they are there. It's the closest thing to Futurama for the modern age.
Yeah.
And speaking of Futurama, I was going to say Onward reminded me a little bit like it was very much a Futurama episode. I was thinking of that throughout. It was very much Pixar's
Maybe that's why I
version of
liked it so
Futurama.
much.
And again, I love Futurama, but Futurama was denser in the world building, in the weird takes that they had, their retro future. Onward, I don't think had enough of that. It just looked like, oh, this is their version of Los Angeles, but everyone's an elf. And yeah. Okay, moving on. Some good news. We talked about this last week. The second episode of John Krasinski's YouTube channel and show has popped up. I'm sure you've seen it. It was trending on YouTube, but I want to talk to you guys about it because this was a chance for him to bring back together the original cast of Hamilton.
Of Mary Poppins Returns. Yes,
Mary Poppins
that was
Returns.
amazing
Yes.
when the whole main cast of Mary Poppins Returns got together. No, I'm kidding. This is a slight spoiler. You should watch the episode. But Lin-Manuel Miranda drops in, has some banter with Emily Blunt, and then the entire cast of the original Broadway cast of Hamilton drops in to perform for a young girl who had her Hamilton experience canceled by the current situation. It was, how amazing was that? I mean, you're two of the biggest Hamilton fans I know.
I haven't seen this. I had no idea.
What, Jeremy? You gotta watch it.
This is fantastic.
Sorry for spoiling it for you. The thing that was most striking was they did it on a video conference with Zoom. Was how they. I mean, I know it was edited in post, but how they got the syncing right. And I don't know if that was actually sung live because all the cast members, including the ensemble, including the swing, right, the dancers were there, and they popped in at just the right times, and everyone was in sync. And I was wondering, was this actually synced up live, or was this
No
recorded
way.
and
No,
then
there's
played?
no way you could do that live.
No way.
The girl's reaction looked like it was live.
Well,
I
they probably
think-
played it for her live. but-
No, I think they sang it live, but it wasn't all of those people that we saw. I bet you some of them like recorded their bits on the phone and they synced it together in post, because when they cut to the song, it sounds better than any video conference call you've ever been on.
Undoubtedly
think-
for viewers, for us, on what's on YouTube, is something that was edited because they did some fancy editing with the way the screens populate. But in the
Clearly,
moment,
they sang it live to her, though.
that's
Like, her
amazing.
reaction was so pure that it wasn't just like some random occurrence. And like, there's a point when she goes like, there are all these people joining the Zoom, so something was happening.
So how did they get the music to play in sync? Right? Was there like everyone have a web browser up with the atomic clock on, and they would then all start the song, the score at the same time?
Don't look behind the
They're
curtain.
stage pro-
Just enjoy the
they're stage
magic.
professionals. Yeah, they're stage professionals, man.
Can't help but think about that. There's also a music video. I'll link this in the show notes. But the musician Thao Nguyen from San Francisco, she did a music video for one of her songs, Phenom, with her band, and it's all done on Zoom as well. And it's also it's a music video, and they're all choreographed. Not only are they singing and playing their instruments in sync, but they're choreographed in sync using the medium of the video conference.
And Tao and the Get Down is an incredible band. So
Yeah.
I encourage people to check it out. That was quite the feat.
Last bits, pop culture news. Another recommendation. There's a short film out of the UK called Rebooted. It hasn't really gone wide, but this is a short film. It's 12 minutes long that is such a labor of love. And not only is that it's incredibly shot and effects-driven short film from, let's see the director's
It's on
name.
YouTube.
Michael Shanks. On YouTube, you can just search Rebooted short film, and it's about a stop motion skeleton in the vein of a Harryhausen film of like Sinbad and the Argonauts, or Jason and the Argonauts, and his journey through life as an outdated special effect. And the conceit is that he's, you see him in his heyday being animated, and then you see him kind of wandering through modern day Hollywood alongside other quote unquote outdated special effects like Jurassic Park puppets. The stop motion, the puppet here, his name is Phil. So it's clearly a tribute to Phil Tippett. And while they shot the film in like real world settings, like in a bar, in a studio, the puppet itself is a composite and is actually stop motion animated. The character is. It's not a CG character. It's a stop motion character. And so there's a whole behind the scenes video how they talked about, they had their director of photography and their effects supervisor basically had to shoot every scene multiple times. One with the director standing in for the stop motion puppet and acting out all the mannerisms. Then they shot it again with a clean plate without anyone in the scene. And then they measured all the lighting sources from those shots. So if they shot in a room like this, they measured where they found all the angles and all the distances and all the color temperatures of every single shot, and then recreated that in small scale. So the lighting on the puppet, when the animator recreated that, was then matched to the real world plate.
I think this is one of the best shot stop motion films I've ever seen. I mean, in terms of the lighting and the way that it falls on the character Phil, I almost feel like it almost makes me think like there still is an element of realism to stop motion that CG just can't match yet, which I thought we were kind of past that point. But the way that the textures look on this character and the way that the light falls on it is so amazingly like well done. I was very impressed.
And it's the film itself is gorgeous too. I think a lot of the credit goes to the director of photography, and these guys are clearly super talented, and so lots of like very dramatic lighting. It looks super polished, and that polish then adds the effect of this character living in the real world, because you have like lots of like shadowing things that would be very difficult to try to just make a video game character or purely CG character out of. All that texturing stuff, like you said, Jeremy. It's called Rebooted. It's 12 minutes. It's super delightful, and go look that up. Okay, 2 final bits of pop culture. Fleabag. If you're a fan of the show, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge show, she also did a play that was in the UK, and that play itself will be streaming on demand, raising money for charity. I think it's starting in the UK first, but will be on Amazon Prime in the US this weekend on April 10th, and you can pay to watch it for 48 hours.
And I believe the proceeds go to charity.
Yes, exactly. And then also South by Southwest, some of the films that were previously scheduled to debut at South by Southwest, the festival has partnered with Amazon to do a virtual festival. So also over this month, later this month, you'll be able to, on Amazon Prime, for limited time, do a kind of shared experience of screening some of these films, which I think is awesome. I'm glad whoever wrote the checks to make this happen, I'm glad they did. And it's a great opportunity for people who've never had a chance to go to South by Southwest and see some of those films to actually see them in the comfort of your own home.
You know what? Back to Hamilton just for a moment. Did you guys know that the character who played Dodge and Soji in Picard was in Hamilton?
No.
Yeah, she was the youngest cast member ever cast in Hamilton.
What did she play?
She was in one of the touring shows that was in the Midwest when coronavirus broke out. But she played
Eliza?
No, she played Peggy.
Really?
Yeah, and also Reynolds, the prostitute.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same actress in every production. But that's wow. I had no
crazy,
idea.
Right? Yeah.
There you go, showing us up with the Hamilton knowledge. All right, moving on. Before we move on to our next segment, I want to let you know that this week's episode of This Is Only a Test is made possible with support from Postmates. From an early morning breakfast burrito to a bottle of wine after work, sometimes you just need what you need delivered fast. And that's where Postmates comes in. Postmates is incredible because it delivers food from every restaurant I can think of right to my door. But Postmates does even more than that. They actually make my life easier with grocery delivery and whatever I can think of delivery too. Convenience stores, clothing stores, you name it. So no more trips to the store, no more late night fast food runs. I don't even have to worry about where to grab lunch anymore. Just download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorites, and get anything you want delivered within the hour. And for a limited time, Postmates is giving listeners $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use the code ONLYATEST. Only a test. That's only a test for $100 of free delivery credit with no minimum purchase for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need, Postmate it. And because I'm running the music, that's also my cue to throw in as I delay. I know we're already going along, guys. I apologize.
So long.
I know. I'm so sorry. Okay.
I want to play the game.
I know. Okay, real fast.
She wasn't in the Midwest when coronavirus broke out. She was in the Midwest when she got the call for Picard. It's important detail.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward, not backward. ESPN is doing esports marathons for video games. If you watch ESPN over the weekend, you saw NBA players playing NBA 2K against each other one-on-one. You know, it was much less exciting than I'd hoped. There was really not a lot of like commentary, and it was also kind of weird seeing players play for teams that they don't play for. Like Kevin Durant playing the Clippers was weird. Like I would imagine play the Warriors or the Nets. But ESPN is doing Madden as well as F1 racing and also Rocket League. So the Ocho is on ESPN Prime. Good for them.
Awesome.
Fox Sports, they did an iRacing series, and this is hilarious. So they had a combination of esports competitors as well as real NASCAR drivers. And one NASCAR driver, Bubba Wallace, well, he earned his merit badge in the esports world because he rage quit in the middle of a race.
Yeah, because I think another racer was bumping him.
He got trolled, and he couldn't deal with it. And so he said, screw this esports stuff, and just rage quit. And I think he even lost a sponsor because
well, that's the unfortunate part. So like, I think it's funny for the most part, but he had a sponsor paying him to race. So like rage quitting, not super cool when you have like somebody paying you to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson to you kids.
Rage quitting never.
Rage quit all you want until you get sponsors.
Or make yourself known for rage quitting. That's what some pro athletes do. And then new PS5 controller. So PS5 still hopefully coming out. So many details have been released. It's the year of new consoles. And the new controller is a drastic departure from the DualShock. It's actually called DualSense, and it's a two-tone controller with now actually looks way closer to the Xbox controller than the PlayStation controller previously did.
Well, hold on now. It's still got the two analog sticks that are, on the same plane, on the same line.
Yes, they're not offset, but in terms of the contours and the ergonomics of the grip, I think they're trying to hide the fact that they had to put a lot more actuators in this, and sensors, and haptic feedback is a big part of this DualSense. They say that the triggers will have actuators to give you a sense of resistance. So when you're pulling back a bow, back to the year of the bow, you're going to feel that in the trigger, and the grips themselves. You're also going to have other types of haptic feedback. They weren't super clear, so they're trying to reassure fans. It's still it's still going to work well with your existing PlayStation games. It's still designed by Sony engineers. It still shares all this history and identity with the DualShock, but it's also completely new. With a new share button. Actually, it's now called a create button they have. And the lights change. I guess PlayStation had that touchpad, so that touchpad in the center looks to be a lot bigger now. And actually, the biggest departure for me is now the four buttons on the right side, square, triangle, circle, X, are not color-coded. They're just the shapes. Mm-hmm. And that is super trippy. It's a white controller, and it's two-tone white and dark gray, and the white kind of makes it look like that boomerang controller design that PlayStation had way back with the PS3, I want to say.
I'm much more excited about the internals than I'm about the way that it looks on the outside. I think that I'm so glad that the console manufacturers are pressing the haptics, and be really excited to see how that feels, because that kind of feedback is something we haven't experienced before.
I mean, I really want to hold it because I'm curious, even though we've seen the weight specs, I think how it kind of fits in your hand, the balance, all of that with all those haptics inside is going to be like one of those key features. This is the first big redesign of a controller in like years at this point.
On the Sony side, absolutely. And the DualShock controllers have always had very kind of pointy grips, and so very easy to grip with one hand. This looks way more bulbous, the place where it hits your palm. And so my fear is that's going to be harder to just kind of freehand with one hand. It is USB-C. A lot of people are very happy that they're finally moving off micro USB. But for PSVR users, we're also interested in what the sensors are, because the current DualShock controller has the color, and that's how the camera, the PSI, can recognize positionally where the controller is in space. While there is still a light here on the DualSense, it doesn't look like it kind of envelops the whole front of the controller. And so I don't know how a future PSVR system would recognize where this controller is.
Yeah, good point.
Speaking of VR, and we will have a VR minute in just a minute. Apple looks like the reports are they're buying Next VR, which is a media company that had sports partnerships in creating immersive media and watching sports in headset. And don't know what that means for their plans for AR goggles, but they want to build up content, and maybe floating immersive video is something that can fit in AR. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, or they just want the expertise and the engineering of this company to think about how to create and document video content that could also be viewed in AR glasses. No more thoughts on that?
No thoughts.
No thoughts, because we got to move on. Well, then let's get to
Now it's time for a moment of science.
So I'm actually going to be pretty brief this week, not in small part because I want to play the game, but also because, what I mentioned last week, I'm not going to cover the TikTok of things unless there's really breaking, important, consequential news for us to talk about, because we're in for sort of a long haul. And I want people to get used to the fact of that we're going to need to discuss this, but not necessarily have it be everything that we discuss. So I'm going to give like my sort of sense of where we are, what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks, and then give some advice that's going to reiterate things I've said. In the coming weeks, I'll do a much deeper dive on things. So first of all, I think what you're going to see, especially here in the US, is some pushback against some of the projections, what the model said the total number of deaths will be in this acute time period. We're entering a phase here in the US and in Europe as well, where there is some hope and optimism emerging because there is some signs that the physical distancing has really taken hold. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of deaths in the coming days. And I think you're going to see, especially on Twitter and social media, people push back like, oh, we've beaten those death estimates by so much, and there's going to be some distrust of those models. I think that's noise that you shouldn't pay attention to. The models, as we kind of discussed last week, are really complicated, and they're not meant to be predictive as much as illustrative of what certain policy impacts could be. But not necessarily saying like that's where we will be given certain situations. So I actually don't put a lot of stock in that discussion. I won't be paying attention to it. I think you're also going to see a lot more pressure on the treatment timeline and start to turn away from the hospitalizations and what the doctors are doing towards what does it look like to develop a vaccine, or what are some other drug and therapies. I'll tell you, I have muted the words remdesivir, hydroxychloroquine. I've muted those words from my timeline on Twitter, and I've done that specifically because the process by which those therapies are going to come to market is so long that reading the ups and downs of what's going to happen with them over the next few weeks, let alone few months, is a mistake. And there's a great article from friend Mara McKenna in Wired that talked about what the U.S. went through in 1976 coming up with a flu treatment and how much public pressure there was, and what that did to the point where the president got a public injection of getting his vaccination during that time because of it was President Ford that got this treatment to encourage everyone to get a treatment. And there's so many kind of lessons learned from that time. And I think one of the lessons is don't pay attention to the TikTok of the treatment development, because it's going to go through ups and downs. A lot of experts have been through these cycles, so they kind of know how to kind of temper themselves to what the reports are going to say. But we haven't. And so I think it'll be a tough emotional bridge to pay attention to that. And we won't be able to decipher some of the real kind of hidden trends in that development process. So I'm not going to do it. Most importantly, this is a time to keep holding the line. So even though there'll be some hope emerging about flattening the curve and whatnot, it's important now that we don't let our guard down, because we have the opportunity to go from flattening the curve to almost like putting our heel on it and really making a difference for our lives 3 to 6 months from now. So I think that's what I'm hearing from most public health experts is like, let's not let complacency come in. Yes, there's good news starting to emerge, but let's not trade the hard work that has been put in, the sacrifices that have been made for a presumption of where we are until the data really shows us something is going on. Prepare yourself for some discussions, big discussions of privacy coming up in the next 2 weeks. Pretty much everywhere is going to start talking about contact tracing, quarantining and isolating specific cases, and how we do that intersects technology in a really, really important way. There's no solution, there's no sort of like magic answer to this. And I think we have to grapple with privacy in a way that, especially here in the US, that we've only begun to do in the past few years. I think other countries have progressed on their conversation about privacy in different ways. But we're going to be talking about access to your GPS data. We're going to be talking about access to your friends and family's GPS data. We're going to be talking about access to beyond location potential, like your private health information, like what is your temperature today? Those are not easy questions. And I think that's the next conversation that you can expect to start to emerge. I'm going to leave you with some final advice, and it's advice you've heard from me all along. There's every reason to be optimistic and realistic. This is going to be tough in the day-to-day. What we're going to see a lot of deaths, particularly here in the US, in the next 7 to 10 days. But the long-term prognosis is improving day by day, thanks to the work that has been put in by so many people across the world. Celebrate the good and don't focus on the bad, because celebrating the good, there's a lot of grounding in science that's what we need most of all. There is not something called normal anymore. I don't think we're going to return to something the way it was. There's no button to press to go back to where it was. The economic damage, the social damage of physical distancing is going to show up, and no one knows what the new normal is going to be, and we have to figure it out together. And that's going to be a thorny, uncomfortable process that we go through. So be ready that's coming up next. And then people are going to have concerns about this entire thing. Like, was this all worth it? Did I have to like lose my career, my business, my job to protect these people? You know, I have an answer to that, but I think those concerns are real, and they come from a place of people really being hurt by this. And it's important to listen to that. Again, that's not because I believe that, it's because that's what our history of humanity going through pandemics tells us we need to do in order to deal with what's coming next together. So I'll just keep saying the same things. Like, I think there's been remarkable things that I didn't think were possible in this country that I've seen communities band together and do, whether it's, you know, makers making PPE, to communities shutting down, to just like a massive reformation of what it means to educate our children in this time. There's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot of hurt and harm that we have to acknowledge, but I think there's a lot of good that has come out of this. So keep on keeping on, and give yourself a break, because we have a long way to go with this.
Eloquent as always, Mr. Hari. I
Yes.
motion to move the Science Minute to the top of the show.
I think it's so I disagree. I think the Science Minute should go to the top of the show when there's something in Moment of Science that needs to be at the top of the show.
Get the name of the segment right, Jeremy. It's just a moment of science.
Sorry, it's a VR minute, and it's a moment of science. I am
Yes.
sorry.
And speaking of which,
The VR Minute. Virtual reality this week.
Jeremy, I need an update. How far are you in Half-Life Alyx?
Well, I'm at the big reveal, and I haven't played much since. And I got to tell you, I didn't even know there was a big reveal. So I appreciate the internet for not telling me.
You're
And
at the level called Revelations,
okay.
I believe. So you've passed Jeff.
The
Yeah,
name of that level seems a little bit spoilery that you call it Revelations.
I was very proud of myself for getting past Jeff, right? And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only scaredy pants playing this game, but the solution was to take the index earphones and move them a little back so I wasn't totally immersed.
You distance yourself.
Yes.
You screwed with the HRTF, the audio, spatial
Yes.
audio.
Yes.
So you literally made yourself further away. Wow.
Dude, I'm dead serious. Still, when I was playing the game doing that, there was a moment. It's the only time I've been doing VR for 7 years? It's the only time I've ever ripped my headset off my head in honest to God fear for my life. Okay? So it's still there. It's still scary.
It's there. It's scary. Yeah. It's scary. But you got past the point where they ask you to do something that's scary. Where you have to do something that your body tells you you do not want to do, but you do it.
Yep.
And then you pass that level. Awesome. Well done.
Yep. Thank you.
I think that's you've reached that. You've passed the hardest part, the scariest part, and it's all real fun from the next couple levels. So,
I'm enjoying just letting it, just playing every few days and making it last. It's such a gorgeous game, and the story's so well done, and the sound is so good. It's a great game.
I almost envy the pace at which you're playing it at, because you'll never have that first playthrough again. And if you can manage to stay off the internet for, for story spoilers for the rest of your time, and really take it whatever your pace is, a couple of minutes a day, one level a day, half a level a day, then you're going to get a lot out of it. A lot more certainly than people who rush through it completely and maybe miss some of the details. Valve also released a deep dive into the Locomotion of the game. This is a kind of their version of commentary. It's a YouTube video that's on their YouTube channel right now, in which the designers talked about how they tweaked and implemented their teleport, blink, and blink, warp based movement in Half-Life Alyx, and some of the considerations they do, for example, heights of players. There's a really interesting shot where they have their tallest Valve employee and maybe their shortest Valve employee playing the game next to each other, and they show the perspectives, and the height of the player changes your perception of spaces and the world, which of course makes sense in VR, but also for how you can teleport around objects, under objects, or in past corridors.
I wanted to ask a question about that game. Do you ever kind of look at the loading screen technology that they're using? When they freeze a level and it just goes to a loading screen, they take a three-dimensional snapshot of your current surroundings, and it goes black and white. It's a grayscale rendering of basically where you were, but it's not the geometry that was in the game. Have you looked at that?
I don't know how they map it. It must be reprojected.
It looks like photogrammetry because it has all of the telltale signs of imperfections of how the camera couldn't see behind objects, and so some geometry stretches. They're doing something interesting.
Take the stereo. They must take the two stereo images of your last point of view, and then map that onto what they understand to be some type of geometry, because there is an overlay on top of that too with the hologram of the map.
Right.
So and that's full 3D.
Yes. Well, so is the environment. You can still move around, and it's I want to know what it is. There's something going on there, and they've done something interesting. I just can't tell exactly what's going on.
You're the only person I know who's even mentioned that. So maybe someone at Valve could give us some insight into it if they're listening, or we'll ping someone that we know. Modders are already trying to tweak Half-Life Alyx to work in unconventional ways, and there's one esports player, Manuel Manello, who created a mod that's a wave defense mod. It's just a one basic mat right now. There's a GitHub. If you go to github.com/Manello, you can download it, but it's waves of head crabs coming at you, and I want to play that. I want to play a horde mode with the engine, with the Source 2 engine, and with the mechanics of Half-Life Alyx. That'd be super cool. I'm going to skip the rest of this because we got to get to the game. Last bits, breaking news: Stadia. Google has made Stadia free for anyone with a Gmail account. You can play it on laptop. 2 months free. 9 games, I believe, are free right now. And Stadia Pro is free for 2 months as well if you want higher than 1080p streaming. And so they're trying to take advantage of this time while people are at home and may not have a game console to try Stadia on your Chrome browser.
So, but you still got to buy the games, though.
You still got to buy the games, but there are, I think, a selection of 9 games which are free for this trial period.
Gotcha.
That they've made for everyone. So that's cool. And then before we move on to the game that we're going to play, I want you to know that this podcast this week is also made possible with support from Microsoft. Right now, companies, governments, and pretty much any organization are being stalked by cyber criminals. And at some point, when the time is right, they will be successfully attacked by malicious actors seeking money, retribution, or political gain. Afternoon Cyber Tea with Ann Johnson provides insights for CISOs and key security decision makers who want to empower themselves with the information to ward off cyber attacks and the disruption they cause. Each week, Ann Johnson, Corporate Vice President for Cybersecurity Solutions at Microsoft, talks with the nation's top cybersecurity thought leaders and influential experts about what they're seeing and doing. She and her guests cover topics like election and national security, diversity in cyber industry, and how a culture of information sharing is one of the best defenses. Join Ann to explore the risk and promise of tools and systems powered by AI, IoT, machine learning, and emerging technology, and get ideas for strategies that can head off intrusions from malware to man in the middle. Afternoon Cyber Tea is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podcast One. Subscribe now. Ooh, and we are back. We're about ready to start our playthrough. This is going to be about 50 minutes because that's the length of the VHS tape. So the way this works and the way these VHS board games work is you pop the video in this case, we're playing a YouTube video, and you don't pause it or anything. You just let it play through. And it's basically it's a FMV game. They have filmed this on the set of Next Generation, and it stars Robert O'Reilly, not as Gowron, but as a different Klingon. He has invaded and taken over.
Wait, we'll let him explain the context of it, and we'll learn together.
Okay.
First
the
things
rules
first,
are
though.
Yes, Kishore.
Well, we have to essentially retake the ship, and that'll become clear in a moment. But first things first, we need roles. So Jeremy,
Yes.
your role is Commander. Congratulations.
Okay.
Norm, you are Engineer.
Different,
And
wrong color
I
for
am Chief. Yeah, I'm Chief. So I'm going to get our play pieces in position on the game board. So Norm is playing as yellow, and I'm going to set him on a computer access area. And same for Jeremy.
So the idea for the game boards, because I want to paint a word picture, is that it is the silhouette of the Enterprise D Galaxy class. And much like a traditional board game, there are spaces that you walk around. In this case, the spaces line the perimeter, the silhouette of the ship looking top down orthogonally. So we are kind of walking around the perimeter of the ship, reaching locations much like the sick bay, cargo bay, shuttle bay. There are holodeck spots. Jeremy's already in the holodeck right now. And when we land on these spaces, things happen. We can pick up cards, we can enter them, but the goal is to navigate around the game board by using dice rolls, collect isolinear chips. We need 5 of them. And once one of us has 5 isolinear chips, we then need to make our way to the bridge and do a dice roll to then take over the ship.
Don't we also need a phaser?
We do need to collect a phaser, 5 isolinear chips, and in these 50 minutes, the Klingon who has taken over the ship he'll give us instructions.
Okay.
I think for just a note for you players, you always move clockwise around the board, and I think commander should start, and then it should go to chief, and then down to the lowly engineer.
No problem. That works for me. So let's play this video. If you want to play along, you can watch the YouTube video. We'll include the audio here, but you can just Google Star Trek.
Yeah, if you want to play along, get out your VCR, buy a no. All right,
Next Generation
Are you
VCR
ready
board
to
game.
go?
Here we go. Let's do this. Engage.
Can I tell you? So I had a call last night, and I walk out to see what my wife and kid are doing, and they had started watching TNG for the first time, my son, without me. And they're like 30 minutes into the first episode. And I just hear the noise like kind of filtering into my call. I was like, oh, what is happening?
They really got access to the Paramount CBS audio AB team here. You are the only crew members on board the USS Enterprise. It's like the episode Starship Mine. The episode name is A Klingon Challenge.
Stardate 49253.5. Commander William Riker reporting.
I'm never going to get
the
tired
Enterprise
of hearing
docked at
Riker's
Starbase 74 to undergo repairs to a damaged computer core that has been causing erratic performance in low-level computer functions. The ship is practically empty, except for a few crew members assigned to direct the Starbase repair teams. Captain Picard granted shore leave to all personnel.
We're the repair team, BTW.
Although I am not on board the ship, I am monitoring the repair team's progress from the Starbase. Deadline for completing repairs to the Enterprise
This feels
is
like
passed,
that Baryon suite.
and the need to get underway is
That's what it
mounting.
says, Starship Mine.
However, the starship will remain virtually empty until all work is completed. Estimates that the computer system will be online in 2 days, and I have scheduled the rest of the crew to
No
return
further
to the
problems.
ship at
This
that
sounds
time.
easy, guys.
While the delays have been frustrating, no further problems are anticipated.
Someone has just warped into a transporter room.
Uh-oh. Them there's Klingon boots.
Ooh, this is very dramatic.
Yeah, we're following our Klingon friend as he walks somewhere. This is more shots of the carpet on the Enterprise than we've ever gotten before.
He's in
dude, it's
engineering.
Engineering. That's your domain. He hit a few buttons and then made a fist. That was very strange. Huh? Did you just fly the Enterprise away? Execute?
Computer, lay in a course for Kronos. Warp 9.
He's hijacked the Enterprise.
So,
We do not
there
speak
are
Klingon,
Enterprise
do we?
crew members on board. Klingon Kolta Shatan Ah! It will not matter. I control life support, navigation, and weapon systems on this ship. Your life is in my hands. I am Kavok.
The Kittimer Accord.
As a Klingon warrior, I can no longer endure this alliance between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. This peace is intolerable. I must return our warrior race to its true nature. We are now en route to the Klingon homeworld. There we will die in battle like true warriors. As intergalactic war between the Federation and Klingon Empire begins by my hand. Yes, I will fight my brothers. For the good of the Empire. What battles the galaxy will see. I left clear evidence on Starbase 7-4.
This is all bad news for
that
us.
this mission was executed with the approval of
I am
Starfleet's
concerned.
highest-ranking officers. You look concerned. Of course it is not true. The Federation is too weak for such a glorious plan. But I am a Klingon warrior, and I am not weak. So, perhaps you will present a challenge. No battle is full, no victory honorable without the challenge of a worthy adversary. We will play a warrior's game of strength and cunning. Each of you look as if you possess these skills. We shall see if this helps you against a true Klingon warrior. I know your human ways.
He's kind of figured us
You
out.
will pretend to cooperate, and then try to regain control of this ship and sabotage this great mission. To accomplish that task, you must secure access to 5 levels of the main computer. Of course, you will be pitted against me. In 60 minutes, we will reach the Klingon homeworld. You are in a race against time. If you manage to succeed, Starfleet will surely award
That's not
you a
good.
medal. If you fail, your blessed enterprise is doomed. That should be enough incentive. Now, Captain of this ship, you will address me with respect when I speak. You must stop immediately and look at me. When I speak directly to you, you must touch your communicator and answer me. Yes, Captain Kavok.
Wow, this is like being aboard a Klingon
Respond
ship.
in exactly this manner.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Yes,
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 Captain
Kavok.
Do you understand? Answer.
Okay. We are all on computer access stations, and I'm going to draw cards for all of us.
Do I roll?
So Norm, you have a card that says at 42:15 or 21:45, you have to request a crew member to stay in their place for 1 minute. Jeremy, you have a card that says you receive assistance. Select a computer access card of your choice from another crew member. And I have a card that says cargo bay. When I get to the cargo bay, use this to get another isolinear chip.
Okay,
roll.
I'll take yours.
Damn it. Okay, you just took my card. Roll, Jeremy. We got to get going.
I have rolled a 4.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get another computer access card that says at 44 minutes, you receive assistance from the crew member with the most isolinear chips. They give you all their holodeck cards.
At 44 minutes?
Yeah, or at 8 minutes, 30 seconds. I go next as the next person. Yes, Captain Kavok. Yes, Captain Kavok.
Mip, you! The one who is moving now. Answer!
Oh!
You will
Oh!
be the first to learn the power
So I
of
just
a
put myself in a
Klingon
stasis
warrior.
field on the board.
I
We have
place
to
you
get
in
to
a
specific
stasis
spots
field.
in order to move. Norm, go.
I roll, and I have a 5.
Okay, nothing. Jeremy.
Roll?
Yes.
I have rolled a 1.
You get a holodeck
Ooh.
card.
You're in a holodeck.
Holodeck means you consult with the holodeck image of Geordie LaForge and learn a clever technique for your tricorder. Release yourself once from a stasis field.
Oh, I get to hold that forever?
Yeah, you get to
Once.
hold that.
All right.
Once. All right, Norm, go, because I'm in a stasis field.
5 again.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Jeremy, go.
1.
Nothing. Norm.
No, I go in that room.
Oh yeah, you go in the cargo bay room. What
And
happens in the cargo bay?
1. I had a card about the cargo bay, I thought.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, you do. You get isolinear chip.
You get a nice linear chip.
Oh, Jeremy's already 1/5 of the way there. You're
I
free,
guess
Kishore.
you're free, Kishore.
Function and drain
Yes.
stasis fields.
I'm free.
I think I have detected movement in the stern section of the ship. I am flooding the corridors of this section with
Anyone in the
Berthold
stern
rays.
section? Go in a sick bay.
What's the
there?
stern?
That's the rear.
Close to sick
Oh,
bay.
okay. None of us are in the rear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got nothing. Norm, you go.
I roll a 5 again.
A 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing.
Wait a minute. Am I red or blue? I thought I was blue.
No, I'm blue.
Okay.
Oh no, you are
Oh.
blue. I'm yellow.
Oh, sorry. I
Uh-oh.
made you red by accident.
I'm
Jeremy.
red? Okay, I'm red.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. My turn?
Yes.
Yes.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're in sick bay, but I don't think you get anything, right?
Okay. All right.
Is that right? Is that how the isolinear chips work?
I'm not sure. I don't think you get anything. Kishore, go.
Okay.
He's actually
this
rolling
race
real
against the clock.
dice.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in shuttle bay, but that doesn't do anything for me at this point.
All right, I roll my dice and I have a 6. Yes, Commander Kavok.
Mev, the crew member who is moving now. Answer, human. You are no match for a Klingon. I have detected your movements.
Oh,
I am
You're in the
immediately
brig.
transported
No.
to the brig, where you will be
Okay, is it-
confined
I think
for
it's my
1
turn.
minute.
1. Move again. 5. Miss a turn. Jeremy,
2.
you're in the turbo lift. You can warp to any turbo lift location.
I don't think I can yet. I
Oh
think
no,
you need-
you can't. You need level 2. You're right. No,
you get to go again.
Norm,
I'm
oh,
in the brig.
I miss a turn, so it's Jeremy again.
Oh, wow. 3.
You're in the conference room. Norm.
Miss a turn, or I'm still in the brig.
Oh yeah. Me 5. Holodeck. Okay. I draw a holodeck card. Deanna Troy, select a computer access card of your choice from another crew member. I'm gonna wait. Jeremy, go.
3.
You're in 10 forward. Uh-oh.
So, the holodecks are functioning. No matter. It is only a Federation illusion. Unlike the Klingon reality that awaits.
Oh,
That's-
that's me.
That's
Anyone
punishment.
on the holodeck?
I get a beige card.
Experience
So
beige.
I don't have to spin the thing, right? I just draw the card.
Draw the card.
Okay, beige. Feel the wrath of Kavok. You are temporarily stunned. Miss 2 turns.
Oh my gosh.
I think I'm free from the
okay.
holodeck now, or free from the brig now.
Okay, what do you get?
I got a 2.
A computer access card. Your computer access card says, select a computer access card of your choice from another crew member. We have nothing useful right now.
All right. Jeremy, your turn.
3.
You're in crew quarters.
How do I get another isolinear chip?
You need to get computer access cards.
I have a
Okay.
6.
Move again.
Ooh, nice. I roll my dice again, and I have a 6 again.
Holodeck card. Your holodeck card. Captain Picard says each crew member will give you their next turn.
Yes,
Norm?
Captain Kavok.
Nev, who is moving now? Rest
That means spin the wheel.
All right, spin it for me.
the challenge of the Klingon sword to determine your
You
destiny.
wait. Hang on. Trying to spin it.
No beige, no beige, no beige.
You got 5
Beige.
beige. Okay, your beige card is report immediately to the brig where you'll be confined for a minute.
Ah, hate the brig.
Jeremy, it's your turn because
4.
I'm still missing a turn. Nothing. I think it's finally my turn.
Yes.
Nothing. Jeremy,
5.
move again.
6.
Computer access.
Oh,
Biolab. When you get to the biolab, receive your next isolinear chip.
Where's that?
Ooh.
The biolab is back here. where
Okay.
My finger is. Okay, my turn.
All the way around the ship.
6.
These turbolifts suck.
Yes, Captain Kavok. Yes, Captain Kavok.
You, the one who is
Come
moving
on,
now.
man. Oh, level malfunction. Immediately move to the next holodeck and draw a card.
Experience beige. Malfunction. This Federation computer is as frustrating as a Ferengi. You may get assistance from these low-level computer defects.
So I gotta,
I
next
still
time I'm in
maintain
sickbay, I
all
can avoid
computer
missing a
control
turn.
over navigation
Okay.
and
I
weapon
think I'm out of the
systems.
brig now. A minute. And I'm going to roll. And I roll 4.
Nothing.
Oh.
Jeremy, you're up.
5.
Nothing. I'm up 2. Computer access card. Science lab. When I get to the science lab, I get an isolinear chip.
So for those of you keeping score, Jeremy has 1 chip, and the rest of us have nothing. Still 50 minutes to go, maybe.
Okay. Norm.
I roll 6.
Computer access card. At 3115 or 1010, you require additional assistance. They give you one of your computer access cards. So keep an eye out for 4215 or 3115. Jeremy,
4.
you're in a turbo lift.
Okay.
I don't think you can do anything.
Yep. Is that me?
Yeah.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Nev, I detect a crew member who is moving now. Run!
Oh no.
Yeah, big surprise there.
The skill of a Klingon warrior seems
You may
more
not
than
draw a
you can
computer
handle.
access card on your next turn.
Okay.
Experience beige.
1, 2, 3. Computer access card for me. You receive assistant. Select a computer access card of your choice from another crew member. I'm going to take Biolab from you.
Oh.
Ooh, wow.
Okay, Norm.
I roll a 2.
Turbo lift, nothing. Jeremy.
4.
You're in the cargo bay. Anything? No, you already collected stuff from there. 2. Turbo lift for me.
Nothing? All right.
Norm.
5. Computer access card.
Science lab, you get an isolinear chip.
Where's that?
Science lab is behind you.
Oh, I go all the way around the ship.
Okay, my turn. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to land exactly on the room to go inside, right?
That's correct.
That would be you, Commander. Commander.
You got an answer?
Oh, yes.
Who
Yes,
is the
Captain Kavak.
highest-ranking Federation officer? Answer. Ah. So well, Klingon for warrior. Are you worthy of this honor, so well?
All right, buddy. Here comes the spinner.
Okay,
It's
spin
the
it.
challenge of the Klingon sword to
BIJ
determine
card
your
for you.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Return one of your computer access cards to the deck. I think you should return the timing one.
Yeah, do it.
Because
The
that's all you got.
That's all I got. All right.
Okay. I believe it's... Oh, I got report to sickbay. Crap.
I don't think we're going to do this, fellas.
No, this is not going well. Norm.
2. Oh.
You're also at sickbay. Jeremy.
5.
I mean, we could take him. Let's rush the bridge, right?
You're in a turbo lift.
No good.
I believe it's me. I'm like panicked right now.
Picard would do so much better.
I'm in the conference room.
1.
Computer access card. Conference room.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Men,
Yes, Captain Kavok.
look at me. You. The one now. Respond. I will tempt you.
I choose Jeremy Williams.
Choose another crew member. Now! Wise selection, you.
Oh,
You may yet prove to be a challenge.
this is
That
this is
crew
brutal.
member is placed
We need to
in a
really
stasis
cooperate here.
field.
Is it my turn?
No, you're in a stasis field.
I have a
You're
Geordie
stuck.
card.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nice. You're out of a stasis field. What do
I
you
roll
want?
3.
Okay. You're in the conference room. Oh, do you have a card that you can steal? No, you don't, do you? Because I have conference room. All right, whose turn is it? Is it mine?
Yep.
4. Who am I?
You're yellow.
Computer access card.
Nice.
46, 15, or 23. I can receive. I can take a computer access card from one of you.
It's going to be 23.
Norm.
5.
Miss a turn.
Oh.
6.
Crew quarters. I don't think you don't have any cards now, so you can't really do anything.
No.
5 for me. Yes, Captain Kavak.
Acha! All stasis fields are inactive.
Oh God.
Who is moving now? Answer!
Computer access card.
Nice.
The
Oh,
challenge
nice.
of the Klingon sword to determine your
Conference
destiny.
room. I get an isolinear chip. You guys should steal cards from me soon. Okay. Who's go? Norm.
I'm
right?
my turn. Yep. 3.
Computer access card.
Yes.
10 forward. You get your next chip, which you just passed.
Oh.
4215. Something happens to you, Norm.
Yep, I get to steal a
Uh,
computer access card.
Jeremy.
1.
Computer access card for you. Shuttle Bay. Get a chip.
Where's that?
Nice. Nice.
Shuttle Bay, I believe it's towards the back of the ship. No.
Center.
It's somewhere. Oh, it's
Yep,
right
right
here.
there.
Okay.
Yep.
My turn. Sorry. 1. Nothing.
Rolling, and I got a 2.
You're in crew quarters. Doesn't help.
I rolled a 6.
Report to sickbay.
Yes, Captain Kavak.
So well. Acknowledge.
I'm so sorry.
A leader must
That
be
was-
tested.
Return
Experience be-
3 computer access cards to the deck. You only have
Oh.
Okay. My turn. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move again. 1. Computer access.
Nice.
At 2830, computer access stuff.
All right, I roll, and I got a 4.
Okay.
Also, it's 42:15 in 6 seconds, so I'm just gonna use my 42:15 card.
That forces one of us to stay in place for a minute. Your choice.
I don't want to do it. Neither of you have to stay in place. We're gonna work together.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I rolled a 6.
Miss a turn. Oh my god, we're gonna lose. I got a 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm in the brig. Yes, Captain Kavok.
That's a me.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
You.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Moving now. Answer.
Give me a.
Speak up.
Yeah, low-level malfunction.
I can't hear you.
Immediately move to the
Experience
holodeck
be-
and draw a card.
This computer is as ruthless as
Move
our
immediately to any turbo lift on the ship.
Oh.
That's you no good.
It really doesn't do any good to me. I need to go to the biolab or sick bay, so I'll go to this turbo lift.
You're
Okay,
falling
who's
over.
up?
I'm up
I'm
6.
falling over. Computer access.
Yes.
Shuttle bay now.
Oh,
you
right
can-
behind me.
Remember, you can steal any of our cards. Shuttle bay 10 forward, conference room, science lab. All of them are available to you.
How can he steal a card?
He has a computer access card that allows him to do that.
Oh.
What am I closest to? I'm closest to science lab, I think, right?
Brig security science lab.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we
still...
also have to go to security to get phasers. None of us have done that.
Okay. Your turn, Jeremy.
I'm in the. I have a miss a turn.
Okay.
Oh. Or report to sick bay.
Oh my god.
Why does this keep happening?
Meth.
Whoa.
Something is wrong.
Oh no.
Computer, beam me to the bridge.
We've lost time, fellas.
Ah. So this is the command center of the starship.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
And this must be Picard's chair. It is now. Luck is not with you humans. We just passed through a localized distortion in
Yeah,
the
we're in deep
space-time
trouble,
continuum.
gentlemen.
You have less time
Whose turn
than
is
you
it?
thought to stop.
Is it?
Go
I don't
for
know.
short.
No, I just went to sick bay.
Okay, then it's me. I'm gonna go 5.
Computer access card. Norm has all the computer access cards. At 30 minutes, receive 2 free turns.
Oh, 31:15.
Okay, Jeremy.
6.
Wait, I have 31:15. I can use something.
Oh, 31:15. You can take a computer access card.
I want to take whoever has one that gives a nice linear ship.
Okay, I'll give you science lab, which you're coming up to. Or no, bio lab.
Ma'am.
That's fine.
Scanners detect movement throughout the ship. I have shut down the turbo lifts. They are all in.
Okay,
All right.
Jeremy.
6.
You are on a turbo lift. You are trapped.
Computer access. Good for you. Finally. At 26, You can release somebody from a stasis field.
Okay.
1. Computer access. I get 2 computer access cards from somebody at 27 minutes.
All right.
Norm.
I roll a 1,
Okay.
and it's
5
30
full-
minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
I
you
get another
2
turn?
free turns.
2 free
2 free
turns.
2.
Awesome. 6.
Computer access.
The computer has reactivated the turbo.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
But that is of little consequence. You! The crew member who is moving now.
I lose my
I
second
guess
free
that
turn.
You
Yeah, you lose your second free turn.
in a
Jeremy, is
stasis
it your turn?
field.
2.
Turbo lift. 4. Conference room, I get an isolinear chip. Woohoo!
Between the 3 of us, we have 2 isolinear chips. We need 5.
Yeah, we need 15. We have 2.
Jeremy, I'm in stasis.
I have rolled a 1.
Okay. I've gotten a 6. Crew quarters. No one has crew quarters.
I'm still in
Jeremy,
stasis.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, I guess you get to go.
I will go. 3.
Kia! Stasis fields are released.
Okay.
1.
Biolab. Can you steal a card from somebody?
I have no cards.
Yeah, you have 1 card. Okay. Well, that doesn't help. I lost my die. 1. Computer access. Yeah. Crew quarters. I just left there.
2.
Holodeck card. Next time you draw a B charge, choose another crew member to do it in your place.
Okay.
You also have the card where you can steal our turns.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Mav!
I sent it to
You
Kishore.
the one who is
Oh, come
moving
on.
now.
I transport to sickbay, and I miss a turn.
Hey, that could help you.
5.
5. Computer access. At 1845, you can transport to the you can transport somebody to the science lab.
4.
Sick bay. Do you have sick bay? No, you don't. Oh wait. That'd be you and me, Jeremy.
Mav! I want to speak to the
that's
crew
me or you,
members
Kishore.
with the greatest access
Yes,
to
Captain
the
Kavok.
computer. The most isolinear chips. Respond! Who answered first? Ah, so it is you. You exhibit the clever logic of a Vulcan. This concerns me.
What?
I have managed to delete
Oh my
one of
goodness.
your
You can do that?
access codes.
Oh my god.
Ha! Lose your highest level chip.
Okay, well that was great. Whose turn is it?
I think it's your turn, Jeremy.
3.
You're in the brig.
Doesn't matter.
Norm.
No, you, Kishore.
Oh, me. Conference room. I get an isolinear chip, I think.
Oh no. 2.
Turbo lift for you.
All right, no one's in stasis. I can lose my card. 3.
3.
Mev! Each of you
Ooh.
will now
Okay.
take the challenge
Okay,
of
ready?
the Klingon
Yeah.
sword and determine
All right.
your destiny
I'll
as
spin first.
follows.
I get a 3. Lose a holodeck card. Jeremy, you got a 1. You go to the brig. And Norm, you wait. That Norm got a 3. Lose a holodeck card.
All right, put me in the brig.
Okay. Wow. This is intense, man. You already used that holodeck card. You lose the other Picard one. Okay.
Whose turn?
Who was moving? I think it was me. So that would mean Jeremy's next.
Oh no, I'm next.
Or no, Norm.
One.
Norm's next. Okay. Jeremy.
4.
Stasis fields are removed. I roll a 1. Miss a turn. Great.
Oh my god.
That'd be me. Yes, Captain Kavok.
Answer me! Point out your second in command.
Crew number Hardy. Oh, come on.
Oh, what is your name? That is a child's name. From now on, I will call you Gah, my favorite food. Because you look slimy like a Terran worm. Besides,
All right. Well,
Gah
my name is Gak
is
now.
always best when eaten
Okay.
alive.
Norm, it's your turn.
Yep. I roll a 1.
Computer access card. Cargo bay. So you pretty much can go anywhere, Norm, and you'll get cards. Jeremy.
1.
Turbo lift. Actually, you're at security, so you get a phaser.
Ooh. Jeremy's our best hope right now. Steal my computer access cards. Get to the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I miss a turn, so Norm.
I roll a 4.
10 forward, you get a chip.
My first chip. That's you.
Answer me, you worm.
Yes, Captain Kavak. Is that me?
Yeah, he said, "Gah, experience beige."
Oh,
That's funny.
oh, come on.
I don't get a phaser. You need 3 isolinear chips. I just read the rules.
Oh, okay. Return your highest level isolinear chip. Gentlemen, I think we're going to lose this.
This is
game.
horrible. How are you supposed to win this?
Okay.
Teamwork.
Who's next?
Norm, right?
I
Yeah.
roll a 1.
Computer access. 10 forward again, but you just passed there.
4.
Computer access, Jeremy.
Yes, Captain
Sorry.
Kavak.
Mev, the crew member who is moving now. Like the aggressive spirit of an anti-can.
Okay, but you did get a science lab card.
I
Cool.
place you in a stasis
Congratulations.
field.
5. Crew quarters. I think I have that. Yes. Again, I'm back to 1. It's a
We're
linear
all
chip.
1.
Norm.
I roll a 4.
Stasis fields released. Nice.
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 Jeremy.
Oh, 4.
Another computer access card. You're protected from losing one of your isolinear chips.
Cool. What was my other card?
You have timing. You have 1845 is your next timing. Okay.
Crew butler.
Oh, I think it's my go.
This
1.
malfunctioning
Computer access.
computer has once again deactivated the
Any
stasis
room.
fields.
I have an any room. card. Okay. Norm.
3.
1, 2, 3. Biolab. I think you have Biolab. Yes, you do.
I have 2 cards.
You're level 2 now.
Hope. Hope springs
Jeremy.
eternal.
6.
Computer access, Jeremy. Conference room, which is coming up in for you. 6. Report to sick bay. Can I use an any room card there? Yes, I can.
Oh, you also have 2.
Mev, I am temporarily diverting power. Gravity is disabled in all
you're
rooms
floating.
in the saucer section.
That's all of us.
So,
Anyone there
no,
will
you're
float
not
in
floating,
space and cannot
Jeremy. You're not in a room.
Ah!
Oh, you have to be in a room.
So you can go.
2.
You can go again.
Great. 4.
Holodeck card. Avoid a trip to sickbay. You get to keep going. 'Cause
6.
We're floating. Keep going.
3.
Biolab, you're floating now. So now I think we're all floating.
I guess so.
Maybe.
Hey, how you guys doing? Woo.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Gravity is restored.
Yay!
Crew member who is moving
Immediately
now.
transport to a location of your choice.
Good.
Experience
Look at my
me.
cards.
Go to the conference room.
Let's do it.
Of all the starships.
Okay,
In
Jeremy, we're all level
in
2
all the
right now.
universes. I had to
All right,
choose
Kishore.
this one.
Your turn.
Ah,
Computer access. 2930. Oh, this card doesn't apply now. Norm.
4.
Oh, you're here. Move again.
Does
6.
anyone have to go to the lab? Because I can send someone there right now.
Computer access.
Science lab. I can go to science lab and get a card.
Yes. Yeah, I have science lab as well.
I send one of you there.
You got to choose. Make the
Norm.
impossible choice.
Norm, go.
All right, science lab.
That's Norm.
That'd be Norm.
Yes, Captain Kavok. Yes, Captain Kavok.
the lowest ranking crew member. Speak up. You are sounding frail. I will call you Push. Klingon for
Well, that worked out.
because you lack strength.
But he got the card, right?
I'm immediately
I got the card.
transferring
I have
you
3.
to
I'm sorry, the chip.
sickbay.
Yeah.
Who's next? Me? No, Jeremy.
1.
Miss a turn. 4. I'm in 10 forward, and I can not do anything. Norm has that.
4.
Computer access. Norm has all the cards. 615, you can do something. So 430 and 615.
I'm skipped.
Jeremy.
I skip.
Oh, yeah. 5. Stasis field's gone. Norm.
5.
Mev. Sensors detect movement around the ship again. If
11,
you're in a
15,
turbo
Norm.
lift,
You get
you
another
will be
thing.
delayed.
Jeremy.
I have shut down
1.
all turbo lifts
Holodeck card.
for 1 minute.
When you enter any room, receive a chip.
Sweet.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Report to sick bay. Okay.
4.
Norm. Stasis fields. Jeremy.
3.
Move again.
Oh. 6.
Biolab.
I got a
Turn in
thing.
yeah. So you're level 3 now. Me. 2.
Give me a chip.
Yes, Captain
That's you.
Kavok. Yes, Captain Kavok.
Oh, Push.
No, why?
Answer me!
Return.
Malfunction.
Move
Experience
to the nearest
these.
computer access and draw a card.
Ah! This computer is more
Uh-oh.
warped than our
We're
alliance
losing
with the
time again.
Federation.
Cargo bay now.
Ah!
You pretty much have every room.
Ah! Another localized distortion in the space-time continuum. Time is not on your side, humans. You are
Okay.
truly being tested.
1.
Okay. 3. Me. Conference room? Ah. Oh, I am using my Deanna Troy holodeck card. I'm stealing conference room from Jeremy to get a third isolinear chip.
Nice work.
I roll a 3.
Brig. That you literally don't have. That's like the one card you don't have.
4.
11:15. Wait. You can take 2 cards from people. I'm going to give you the protection card from Jeremy.
Okay.
Go, Jeremy, go.
4. 4. 4. 4.
3 minutes, Jeremy.
Nev, you think you're a challenge? Not yet. I have programmed a power blackout in all rooms of this ship, as is said on Kronos. Those without honor are
We're all in
always
corridors.
darkness.
Great.
Only those
Aren't I in a
who
room?
corridors.
Oh, yeah, you're in a room. Sorry.
Oh, I'm in the brig, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh, no, I was looking at Norm. I'm not in a room.
yeah. Yeah, you're not in a room. Go.
2.
Turbo lift. You could go somewhere.
6.
You need to go to science lab. 6.
Oh.
You get a phaser.
Oh, I do actually now. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Our hopes are on Jeremy.
4.
Computer access. At 14, this card doesn't apply now. We're past it.
3.
Keep go-
Ooh. What a burn.
Patak, this Federation
Okay.
ship is wired like a Ferengi shuttle.
Okay, I get an assistance card. Okay, Norm.
The power blackout program has terminated. I'd be back.
Jeremy.
5.
Me. Does anyone have crew quarters that I can steal? No. Okay, keep going.
1.
Stasis field drop. 6:15 is the next one for you.
3.
Norm. Turbo lift. You need to go close to science lab. I'm gonna put you back close there.
Great.
Me. 1. Computer access. Shuttle bay. Okay, Norm.
4. Yes, Commander Kavok. Captain Kavok.
Nev, who is moving now? Don't
You're placed in a
Use it
stasis
up.
field.
experience BIJ.
2.
Stop up. Wait, we're gonna put him in a stasis field. 1, 2. 3. 1, 2, 3.
6.
We're running out of time. There's only 8 minutes left.
Computer access. You can steal a card from anyone, Jeremy.
Okay.
Take it from me.
I don't need one.
Well, he doesn't need it yet. Shuttle bay. I have a shuttle bay card, level 4. Jeremy, you're
5.
up again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Nev, each
Do I get
of
a
you
sick
will
bay
now
chip?
take the challenge of the Klingon
There's
sword
no
and
sick
determine
bay.
Okay.
destiny as follows.
Okay.
Haven't
I
much
got BIJ.
time.
Jeremy gets BIJ. Norm gets computer access. Oh no, wait. Oh, I spun it wrong. It's the
Number.
number. I get 1. Lose highest level isolinear chip, but I'm going to steal an assistance card from Norm that gives me protection from that. Norm gets a 3. Lose a holodeck card. You don't have any. Jeremy, you got a 4. Experience BIJ. And return your highest level isolinear chip.
Ah.
Brutal. Whose turn is it?
I just moved. It's yours, Kishore.
Okay, 6. Miss a turn. I think the stasis field is gone. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
What?
Oh no.
Nev, I have initiated a transporter lock to send
Oh.
phasers back to
Accept.
security.
Jeremy steals
Action
the
of the
protection
ship
card
will
from
lose
Norm
their
that prevents
phaser.
that transporter lock.
You want them back? Go ahead.
Okay, Norm, I think you're up.
3.
Millennia.
1, 2, 3. Science lab. You have science lab.
1.
You're level 4, Norm. Computer access for Jeremy. Norm, 615. You can take holodeck cards, but we don't have any. Clock has passed on your computer access card. My turn. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2. I'm in security. I get a phaser.
God, either of you. Jeremy, you need one more isolinear chip, then get to the bridge.
That'd be Jeremy.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
Who has the least access to the computer? Answer! I will tempt you. Who responded first? So you are a coward. You cannot succeed. You do not deserve the glory of death. I offer you the chance to save your pitiful life. I am launching a shuttle. You
Do it,
may
do
go
it.
Yes, yes,
aboard
Captain Kavok, I
immediately
accept.
and leave this ship. Do you accept?
Jeremy's gone.
Respond! Have you left the ship? If you abandon the others to save
Jeremy's
yourself,
out of the game.
you
Suckers!
Oh my
have
God.
served the Federation.
Norm, your turn.
But you will live.
3.
At 4:30, you can receive 2 free turns. Computer access. Okay. Keep going. 4:30.
2.
Cargo bay. You have cargo bay. You have your 5th isolinear chip.
Rolling again, and 3.
You're fine. My turn. 1 holodeck card. Move immediately to any space on the ship. I'm gonna go to the science lab and get my 5th isolinear chip.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, Captain
yes,
Kavok.
Captain Kavok.
No, I'm
Oh, wait,
Pooj.
that's you.
Whoosh.
You experience beige.
Answer me, Klingon.
Return to computer access cards to the deck. I'm going to return cargo bay and shuttle bay. How about that?
We gotta get a move on. We have 5 cards. You have phaser. You need to get to the bridge.
Yeah, I know. I got to roll. 2, 1, 2. Go, Norm.
2.
Turbo lift. You don't have a phaser though. Oh no! Oh, turbo lift to security. You got a phaser now. Oh. Yes,
Malfunction.
Commander. Immediately transport to a location of my choice. Oh,
Experience
I'm heading up the
beige.
Jeffries tube.
6.
Will not matter.
Oh no! Isn't it my? It's
Time
my
is
turn.
running
2,
out.
1, 2. Okay. 6.
6.
Turbo lift. You're right behind me.
Ah!
From your side.
3 minutes left.
4. I'm at the bridge access panel. All right, here we go. Here comes the reveal. Bridge access denied. Computer malfunction.
I roll a 6.
That's you.
Yes, Captain Kavok.
F. Who is moving now?
You're about to pick up the card
Answer.
too, Norm.
Use the sword.
Sword to determine your
Computer
destiny.
access.
That's fine. Flip open that bridge tile.
You stunned Kavok. You receive a Medal of Valor.
Ah! We did it!
So wait, I gotta read this. For services that you have won, Norm. For services above and beyond the call of duty, and not abandoning your ship like the commander of this vessel, and saving our lives, we proudly award you, Pooj, the United Federation of Planets Medal of Valor. Congratulations. Live long and prosper.
Can you show the board camera, the bridge picture?
Oh yes. Let me stop the share. That was frenetic. Oh my god.
I
How did
hope
we
you
get so
guys-
many chips?
I hope you understand that my leaving the ship allowed you to expedite the process.
Oh yeah, sure. You have no
No,
honor.
That was a part of the game design. I think that's why they chose the person with the least access
Yep.
to do that. Well done. Good choice
I
is made.
also think I made some mistakes about like board rolling and who was going, but I was like panicked like most of this game, trying to move everyone around and like manage the cards.
I
and stuff.
can't believe that we pulled that off.
We were very lucky going up that turbo lift at the very end. We had 2 chances.
Yeah. Good
I
game
can't
design.
believe I lost. Wow, VCR games. What do you think, gentlemen?
I think it's going to be a thing.
0 replayability. Did you like how they shortened the time?
Oh,
Yeah, that was
freaked
weird.
me out.
You thought you had more time, and then they tightened it up because there's only so many minutes they film for.
They play
they
with
wanna-
your precious resource.
Yeah.
I wonder what he says at the end. Do you want to fast forward and see what the
Let's
end
do it. Let's use that as our outro, the very end. But that does it for this week's podcast. If you're still listening to the audio, thank you. You're a better person than us, and thank you for bearing with us. We're going to skip to the very end of the VHS and let you listen to what happens when Commander Kavok takes the Enterprise to Kronos. And we'll see you next time. Kishore.
It is over. We have arrived at the Klingon homeworld. All computer access codes are now deleted. Your isolinear chips are useless. The bridge is secure from your childish attempts. You have lost. Computer, slow to 1/3 impulse. It seems our movements have been detected, and we are being hailed in true Klingon fashion. Computer, shields up! Prepare all weapon systems. Attack pattern, T-35. Fire! Shields have failed, but the glory has just begun. Fire! Computer, damage report!
Oh, the Enterprise is gone.
But wait, there's a repeating time warp, and the instant the Enterprise is destroyed by the Klingon bird of prey, the ship and its crew are thrust back in time to face anew the challenge of the mighty Klingon warrior Kavok. Only those on board of the Enterprise can change the course of history and prevent intergalactic war. Make it so. When you rewind the tape, you experience the time warp, quote unquote, and move back in time. Well done. All right. That does it and concludes our great experiment with a Klingon challenge. Good job, gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Live long and prosper, everyone.